이번에는 나라 밖 소식입니다. 고대 교부 터툴리안이 말하기를 교회는 순교자의 피 위에 세워진다라고 했는데요. AD 3세기에 살았던 사람의 말이지만 그것은 지금도 유효해 보입니다. 그 어느 때보다 기독교 박해로 인한 희생이 많은 요즘 박해가 일어나고 있는 곳의 신앙은 그 무엇에도 견줄 수 없이 견고해지는데요. 전 세계에 걸쳐 일어나고 있는 기독교 박해에 관한 소식입니다.
From Africa to the Middle East to Asia and around the globe, Christians today are the target of persecution. Open Doors USA says nearly 4,000 Christians are killed for their faith every year. Thousands more suffer violence in the form of beatings, abductions, rapes, and false arrests. Author and historian Bill Bennett says persecution of the church today may be the worst in history.
I think it may be worse today. I think in terms of sheer numbers, if you count the Middle East, Islam, if you count China, if you count other places, the persecution of Christians goes on every day. Some small Christian sects in the Middle East, in Iraq, in Iran, have been eliminated maybe forever.
But from the earliest days of the church, whenever persecution increases, the church grows and even flourishes. Bennett calls that one of the awe-inspiring paradoxes of Christianity.
Whatever they could imagine to do to Christians, they did. But the remarkable thing is, and you quoted it, the blood of the martyrs was the seed of the church. The more the persecution took place, the faster the church grew.
Bennett writes about the early years of church persecution, perseverance, and expansion in a detailed historical narrative called Tried by Fire, the story of Christianity's first 1,000 years.
It is a remarkable story. I mean, this little sect becomes one of the religions of the world and changes the world forever, Christianity. And the story is not well known. I like to think of it as the second greatest story ever told.
When Asia's release had been thwarted. About a year ago, the nation's highest court questioned the evidence against her and overturned her death sentence. The court ordered a reinvestigation, but further action has been delayed. That's because of the arrest and hanging death of assassin Mumtaz Qadri. The radical Islamist gunned down Punjab Governor Salman Taseer, who called for Pakistan's blasphemy law to be abolished after visiting Asia in prison. Islamists packed the streets after the government finally executed Qadri under the country's anti-terrorism laws. Wilson Chowdhury heads the group British Pakistani Christians.
There was a huge backlash. There was protests across the country. There was a mass camp outside government buildings in Islamabad where people refused to move until the government cancelled all the proposed reforms for change of the blasphemy laws of Pakistan, and they called for the immediate death sentence, the killing of Asia Bibi under her death sentence.
Pakistani legal expert Joseph Francis says it's very easy to accuse someone of blasphemy here, and cases have increased every year since 9/11.
In Pakistan, no justice, because the court is very biased.
Either biased against the country's tiny Christian minority or intimidated by extremists, says Chowdhury.
I don't think there's anyone brave enough to release Asia Bibi. What judge is going to be brave enough to say, Asia, you can go free, knowing that that would mean a potential death sentence for him?
How about an amendment to the blasphemy law? What are the chances of that passing?
All Pakistani government, previously and present, this is not possible, change this law. Present government have, I don't believe, because maybe in some government coming to the next time.
In the meantime, more Christians like Asia Bibi will face false accusations of blasphemy and the likelihood of wasting away in prison. And more daughters, like Isha and Isham, will grow up without their mother's loving embrace.
I'm always praying that God will release my mother from jail so our family can be reunited and she can live a peaceful life. American young people, please keep praying for me, my family, and mother, that God will help us resume our family life.
Gary Lane, CBN News, Lahore, Pakistan.